Feeling good, feeling great. Feeling great, feeling good. How are you? Welcome into Timeline T. I am your host, D. Sam D, aka Sam Duzme Jr. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Not bringing in a lot of the spirit that we normally get to because, got some breaking news here on the passing of a legend. But still a Friday. Now a little bit of a somber Friday, but still a Friday. A lot of NBA on tap. Y'all see the topics there. Y'all saw the title when you clicked. There's some real smoke about Joel Embiid possibly being out or on the way out in Philly if the beard indeed does go back to H-Town. We rolling or we think that's smoke? Touch on it. Hey, Darvin Ham. How many more games you need to see Jared Vanderbilt get bully balled before you start Rui Hachimura? Darvin Ham, really shaky. He still ran D'Angelo Russell out there. He's still food. Bruce Brown still killing him. I don't know what's up with Darvin Ham. But even with all of that, they got a vintage Jamal Murray performance in game 2. They got a Jokic performance in game 1. And the Lake Show still, you can make an argument that Lake Show still should have won one, if not both, of those games. Darvin Ham. Coaching matters. And we didn't get a chance to touch on it at the end of the stream yesterday, so I saved it for today. Your man's Chris Broussard jumped all the way out the window with the take of all takes. And he got roasted for it. I'll chime in and give my little take on it. I'm sure I'll make that into a YouTube short and see what that does. But yeah. When your show is not really doing a lot, when your show's not really getting the traction, sometimes you say the thing just to get the social media traction, even though it's not going to make people now go watch your show. But at least your name is out there. And sometimes that's better than actual ratings. I know that sounds weird, but trust me, it's a thing. All right. You know what? We'll start with the breaking news first. Breaking news, we have Jim Brown, a Pro Football Hall of Famer who retired at the peak of his brilliant career to become an actor as well as a prominent civil rights advocate, has died. He was 87. So if you haven't heard, Jim Brown, gone at the age of 87. He was surrounded by friends and family. We're being told. Passed away at his home in LA. Famously left his home unlocked because who had the balls to press Jim Brown? Don't know if that lasted all the way through to his passing, but when he was still him, when he still had that street cred, when he was still able to walk the streets and have that imposing presence. Yeah, Jim Brown was one of those that can sleep quietly and safely with his front door and back door unlocked. Because everyone knew that's where Jim Brown stayed, and no one was dumb enough to run up on Jim Brown. Jim Brown gone at the age of 87. We can do a quick little retrospective. Hall of Fame career, never won. Well, he won an NFL championship, so that was before the era of Super Bowls. But you see the numbers, 12,312 yards in a very short amount of time. 118 games, over 12,000 yards. Right, that's how you get the 5 yards a carry. That's how you get 106 touchdowns. I mean, led the league in rushing all but 1 year. So understand that. Imagine if we would have had somebody do that today where they lead the league in rushing all but 1 year. And these are, 12 game seasons. And he's putting up 1,500 yards. We go crazy if a dude puts up 1,500 in a 17 game season. This dude was putting up 1,500 plus in a 12 game season. And not the 400, 300 carries like how we see today. Led the league in rushing attempts because, of course, and he's still popping at 6 yards a carry. Amazing numbers almost had 2K in a 14-game season. I mean, good Lord, bro. Can you imagine? And still under 300 carries and 1,800 yards. Sometimes, like, I know for some people, the Wilt stuff just seems too good to be true, too unreal, too video game-like on rookie level-like. But this was a real dude in real time. There's footage. There's people walking around today that grew up watching this weekly. Can you imagine seeing somebody like this perform at this level? Imagine putting up 1,500 yards in just 14 games, averaging 5 yards a carry, and then you walk away and say, I'm good. I'm good, love, and joy. To go be an actor. And not like, you know, bootleg movies like we see today. Like, he was on some leading man shit. High-level movies. Raquel Welch. Like, yeah, Jim Brown was him. Now, again, there's some other things with Jim Brown. I'm not here to tear a man down that recently has transitioned. I'll just say this. There will be some people who will try to bring out the other side of Jim Brown. And I'm not saying that they should not. I'm just saying for me right here, right now, I'm not on that type of time when someone just recently passed away to just tap dance on them and let's bring up all the bad shit that they have done. He certainly was not a perfect man, you could say, far from. He certainly had some opinions later in life that might have been contrary to young Jim Brown. But anyway, 87 years old, Pro Football Hall of Famer, civil rights activist. You remember the famous picture of him, Ali, Kareem, you know, all those guys, you know, Bill Russell, all of them supporting the cause back in the day, holding down Muhammad Ali when he was going through his battles with the Vietnam War. Jim Brown, a legend. Salute to him at the age of 87. There's no transition to move from that to, you know, the title of this stream today, but there is a lot of stuff when we get into trying to navigate what the hell is going on in Philadelphia. There is a lot that we need to focus on when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers, and we start with Keith Pompey, who is locked in over there, who is on point, who's been around there for a very long time at the Philly Inquirer. And he's locked in. Sixers James Harden expected to reunite with Rockets in free agency. Now, that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? That's just the beginning of it, right? So now off of that, people read the story, and then from that story, they extract this. The Rockets reportedly asked head coaching candidates for their opinions on James Harden during the interview process before hiring Ime Udoka. So, okay, it's such a foregone conclusion that James Harden is going back to the Rockets, that the Rockets are asking head coaching candidates, so what do you think about James Harden? Can you work with James Harden? Can you coach James Harden? Can you build a system around James Harden? Or more so, can you adjust your system to James Harden? That's what's going on. So this was such a foregone conclusion that now we have to figure out, okay, well, what does this mean now for what's left of the Philadelphia 76ers? Because if Harden leaves, you got to assume PJ Tucker is out the door as well. We don't know who the coach is going to be. They really only have one top tier player in Joel Embiid. Then now with no beard, now Maxey becomes the number 2 officially. Toby can go back to being the 3, Tobias Harris. But if you're Joel Embiid, are you really trying to sit there for that? Into that answer, we have this T. Courtesy of Stefan Bondi. He's been a New York reporter for the Daily News for a very long time. He's been a beat guy there for a minute. And he's now dropping tea that he's allegedly been holding for months, saying he's been told since midseason that Joel Embiid is the guy to watch for the Knicks, and Philly's playoff flameout only intensified that belief. Now, let's sit here and try to figure out, why on earth would Philly ever do that? Why on earth would Daryl Morey ever do that? Not only so let me try to understand this. The Sixers are going to trade away let me get this right. Let me get this right. So I'm a little perplexed by this because sometimes stuff the New York media is hella problematic, bruh. And it's one of the main reasons why I do the things that I do, because there's so much bias in this that it's like, how is this real reporting? But let me take a step back. I'm supposed to believe that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to trade the reigning MVP in Joel Embiid to an Atlantic Division rival in the New York Knicks. For what? Yes, the Knicks have a lot of draft picks, so they have a lot of collateral, and people swear that those picks are sexy. But if you're in tear it down mode, you're going to tear it down and send away your best player to a dude up 95, up the turnpike? What part of the game is that? Why would the Philadelphia 76ers trade Joel Embiid to the Knicks? What package could the Knicks offer that is so overwhelming that Daryl Morey would have to accept it and trade his best asset to a division rival? When there's so many other teams that have draft collateral equal to better than the Knicks. You don't think Presti would want a phone call to Scamadum Dea, Danny Ainge? He wouldn't want a phone call? And why would Embiid want to go play for the meniscus tearing taskmaster Tom Thibodeau? He's got leg and knee problems already. You want to worsen them by sending him to the Knicks? Maybe that's the motivation for Daryl Morey sending Joel Embiid to the Knicks, is that, oh, well, we know if we send him to Tibbs, he's going to run him into the ground, and those knees are done. There is absolutely no legitimate basketball reason for Daryl Morey and the Philadelphia 76ers to move their best player, the reigning defending MVP, to a division rival. But again, the New York media does this. We had a blue check boy that's for, CBS, that is an admitted lifelong Knicks fan, and he's out here trying to sell the dream that Luka Doncic can come to the Knicks, and it's because they got Jalen Brunson, completely ignoring the fact that Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic couldn't even be on the floor together late in their tenure with Dallas. Jason Kidd had to stagger their minutes because neither one of them knew how to give the rock up to let the other cook. So he had to stagger their minutes to make sure when Luka's on the floor, Luka dominates the rock. When Jalen's on the floor, Jalen gets to dominate the rock. But when you put the two of them on the floor together, it was problems. Oh, but now, just because Jalen's a Knick, that's going to be the inside track for the Knicks to get Luka Doncic, completely ignoring the fact that Dallas tried that and it didn't work. Do not listen to these blue check boys. If Joel Embiid goes to the Knicks, clearly I will run all this back and fall back. But tell me how that works. Tell me how the Knicks can get Joel Embiid. I'm supposed to care about all them picks they got. What, they got like 7 picks in the next 4 years or some nonsense like that. Supposed to keep all them 7 first rounders. Supposed to care about that. Utah's got more. OKC, I'm sure, has equal, if not more. I would ship his big ass to another conference. Why would I want to see him terrorize my team? And he's in the division. You're going to play him more times than any other team. What? Ship him to the West Coast, to the Western Conference. You have him come back once a year. You deal with him that one time a year, and that's it. I'm going to ship him in the division? Where are they getting this stuff from? So again, we said been told since midseason. Been told by who? Someone in the Knicks front office? The CAA hotbed that is the Knicks front office? Is Embiid CAA? Because we know that's all the Knicks deal with. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's just problematic, man. I'm just tired of this type of stuff because it's like, well, where's the basis for it? You know, where's the basis for it? Oh, great. Somebody in the comments, I didn't peep this. Someone in the comments questioned him. The Sixers would really trade him in division? That I have no idea. It would be very complicated and require many things to happen that are not in his control. So you're just bullshitting. You are bullshitting. That's the first thing that comes to anyone's mind. The Sixers would really trade the MVP in the division? That I have no idea. Yeah, because you're just saying shit. You're just saying shit. You have no real facts. Daryl Morey's going to trade Embiid to the Knicks? On what planet? But again, 11.5K views. How much did this one got? 250,000 views. You say the thing. Just put some shit out here. This could have been from a random trainer. This could have been from a scout. This could have been from an assistant to the assistant to the assistant GM. Just some bullshit I was told. But put it out there, it gonna go. 250,000 views. Problematic as hell. But I do think there is some validity to Embiid being moved if the beard truly is about the paint. I just can't see any scenario alive that would make it be that if he is moved, he's moved in the division to the New York Knicks. Absolutely, it would take a lot for me to co-sign that. I could reach out to some people, but I'm not even going to dignify reaching out to some people to see if this is like, if there's any ounce of legitimacy to this. But Joel Embiid probably should get moved. There's just no way in hell that they should move him within the division. Daryl Morey would lose all basketball acumen and credibility if he were to move Joel Embiid within his own division. Unless he's on the way out. If he's leaving, he's like, all right, I'm on my way out. I'm going to really sabotage y'all, and I'm going to trade Embiid within the division, and then it's deuces. Because remember, he tried to deuce on the Houston organization by saying I need to go spend more time with my family, and then a week later, he was introduced as the 76ers GM. So unless, he's got a bigger vision, and he's out the door anyway, and he just wants to screw the Sixers on the way out, then okay. But if it's not that, then I don't see any way imaginable where this is something that is like legitimate. All right. Now that I got that off my chest, that shit really bothered me. The part about Embiid being traded, that doesn't really seem to me that shocking to me. Because, again, windows open and windows closed. When they had Ben and, he was afraid to take the layup, and then Joel was also not that great, but Ben takes all the heat. But Embiid was also not that great that series against the Hawks. John Collins posterized them. Come on now. But it really goes to show that there really is no lifetime window. Unless you're Steph and you win 4 or 5 chips. I can't see Jokic going nowhere. So maybe Jokic has a lifetime contract. But you got to be really special. And the team has to be really good consistently to get that type of lifetime deal to be the guy. Joel Embiid, with all he's gone through with that organization, you would think he would be a lifetime guy. But the fact that there's been so many regime changes since he's been there, and there's been so many rotating cast of characters since he's been there, if I'm him, I'm like, you know what? It might be time to roll up out of here. If I can control my narrative and control my destination, why not? I'm not even going to get into where he should go, because that's way too much stuff to try to dissect. Because you're talking about salaries, you talk about compensation in the trade. There's a lot. But trust, we will keep an eye on that. Oh boy. There's a lot to get into from this game last night. Nuggets and Lake Show, Darvin Ham, I need you to step forward, sir. Just like we asked Joe Mazzulla to step forward and we roasted him, Darvin Ham made another critical starting lineup error. He went 3 guards in game 1 and got destroyed in the first half. Learned his lesson in the second half and he went big, and then the Lake Show came back, only to change up the starting lineup, but not make the obvious fix in the starting lineup. Instead of going Rui Hachimura, he went with Jarred Vanderbilt. Now, while Jarred Vanderbilt has been a revelation to some, not to those who know, but a revelation to some, unfortunately, when it comes right down to it, and make sure I get the right game up, had game 1 up. Unfortunately, Rui Hachimura, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is the type where he'll give you buckets, but it's not like he could go get a bucket. He can give you buckets in transition. He could give you buckets through effort plays, so on and so forth. But you can't give him the ball and say, go get us a bucket. So he went with Jarred Vanderbilt in the starting lineup, and it was bad again. Why won't Darvin Ham start Rui Hachimura? What is the rationale for not starting clearly the best defender that they have for Nikola Jokic? Rui has done such a good job on Nikola Jokic, and Jokic is still getting his, by the way. It's not like you're stopping him. There is no stopping Nikola Jokic. Ultimately, you want to be able to put Anthony Davis to be in his most valuable position defensively, and that's playing off the ball, weak side help defender. So you put in someone who can physically stand up to the punishment of dealing with Jokic, and that's been Rui. And Rui was also a bucket last night. Hit his first 8 shots. But Darvin Ham still ran with Jarred Vanderbilt, not only to start the first half, but the second half. And it was truly maddening to see the marked difference when Vanderbilt was on the floor and trying to hold his own with Jokic, and when it was Rui. Because not only is Rui holding his own against Jokic, which is helping the defensive scheme to, bring over LeBron, bring over AD, cause that chaos. But Rui's also being a bucket, and Jarred Vanderbilt is not a bucket. So why is Darvin Ham going with Rui off the bench again? How many more times does he need to see Rui play well against Jokic before he decides to just start Rui? And if it doesn't work, then you go away from it. But you tricked off game 2 largely because, the third best player on the team was coming off the bench. The third best player on the Lakers is coming off the bench. How do you justify that if you're Darvin Ham? Jarred Vanderbilt, this is not the series for him. Not as a starter anyway. And not as a guy that's supposed to be depended on to guard Jokic. This ain't him this series. Certain guys fit in certain matchups. This is not a Jarred Vanderbilt matchup. There's too much size on the Nuggets. There's too much size on the Nuggets. This has to be a Rui series, and he has to start. You're down 2-0. They're still hunting D'Lo. Clearly, you're accepting that by still starting him and still giving him major minutes. So you're accepting that D'Lo is food. Okay, why would you want 2 guys out there in your starting lineup that are food every night? Jarred Vanderbilt is going to be food in this series because he doesn't have the size. He's not a big enough dude in terms of muscle mass. He's just not. He can't. He was better against the Warriors because the Warriors don't have a lot of size. He was better against the Grizzlies because the Grizzlies didn't have a lot of size. This is not the Warriors or the Grizzlies. The Nuggets have size, and they know how to take advantage of their size. This is a series where Rui Hachimura needs to play more. And I think you might need to roll the dice and see what's good with Lonnie. I know some people think, and I'm not even a Laker fan, but some people feel that Laker fans are just enamored with Lonnie because of what he did in Game 4 against the Dubs. I'm like, no. Lonnie's been a bucket his whole career. And he's been a bucket at times with the Lakers. But clearly, D'Lo is not giving you buckets. He's having a hard time out there. So if that's going to be the case, then you really need to readjust this rotation if you're Darvin Ham. This rotation does not look good. And again, LeBron, another game where he's shooting no threes. He didn't make not one three. Again, there's a video on this channel where I was begging LeBron, stop shooting threes. Okay? I got called a hater in the comments. People disliking the video, all types of stuff. And I'm like, okay, it's whatever. Ignore it now. Listen to me now. Believe me later on. Shout out the Goody Mob. Like 0 for 6 from 3 again. AD was not great shooting the rock, but I like the fact that he was still aggressive. He had the 11 free throws. A lot of this was in the first half. But I mean, he still hit the glass. He still hit the 4 blocks. Like, you can't kill AD. Some people are trying to kill AD. The shots were there. They just weren't falling. Like if we go to the shot chart and look up what AD did last night, it wasn't from, he wasn't shooting out of his element. He did take a couple threes, but I'm not going to kill him for that. Look, dogs, he's in the spots he's supposed to be in. He's in the spots he's supposed to be in. Okay? He's at the elbow, baseline, top of the key. He's in the paint. The shots just didn't fall. The shots just did not fall. But look where the shots are. Yeah, he gave you a couple of threes that, these two were open threes. So I'll give him that. These two were open threes. I don't really remember this 3 down here at the bottom. But in regards to everything else, these are the shots where you want AD to take those. They got no answer for him. AD is him, okay? So he can get these. It's just a matter of, do they fall or not? The problem is that y'all GOAT, y'all king, is shooting from places that he should not be. And yes, this is what you want from him. If he were to be here all game, I'm not killing him right now. If this was it, I wouldn't be mad at him right now. The problem is that that's not it. The problem is when we go out here, this is the issue. This is the issue. All of this, don't need it. Do not need it. Do not need any of these. No, stop it. You shoot 31%. Why are you taking these? 31%. Why? Why are you still shooting these? There's no reason to shoot these. Yes, you're on 1 foot. You know what takes a lot of energy from your feet? Shooting 30 feet away from the basket. You're going to do that on 1 foot? Where you could just go to the hole, draw contact? Problematic, bruh. It's problematic, man. This is a real problem. But who's going to tell them? I tried to say it in a YouTube video. I got called a hater. I got told I don't know basketball. And I'm sitting here breaking down numbers and showing conclusive data as to why LeBron should not be shooting. And I got told I don't know basketball. And I'm like, I'm not even doing the analytics thing. I'm giving you the raw data. 0 for 6. That's not analytics. 0 for 4. That's not analytics. 31% from 3. That's not analytics. It's the hard data. He can't shoot. Stop it. Bruh. I don't know what's up with y'all king. I don't know what's up with y'all king. It's problematic as hell. Problematic as hell. Man shoots too much. And unfortunately, if you're a Laker guy, if you're a Laker fan, it was a Jamal Murray game. Jokic had a pedestrian triple-double. 23, 12, and 17, and it was light. He missed all his threes. This was a subpar Joker game. That's the crazy shit about it. 23, 12, and 17 is a down game for Nikola Jokic. But you got a Jamal Murray game. And I've been, infamously saying this on the DCMD podcast. There's a link to the podcast in the description. The Nuggets go as Jamal Murray goes. Sorry. Jokic, did all of this, and it could have came in a dub. But what secured the dub was Jamal Murray going crazy. Jamal Murray going crazy is what secured this dub. 37 points, 4 steals. He was active in the passing lanes, still gave you 5 dimes, 10 boards. He hit the glass. 37, 10, and 5 with 4 steals and 6 threes. 5 guys in double figures. Bruce Brown, I'm not saying... he's outplayed KCP. I thought this might be a KCP revenge series. But Bruce Brown is taking it to the Lake Show, and he's letting them know it. I don't know what that's about. Bruce Brown is not for play, but, this is a dude that he's played well throughout, but he is really making sure that his impact is felt against the Lake Show. He is a free agent, by the way. Maybe he's trying to let the Lakers know, look, this could be you. I could be doing this for y'all. The Lakers only got AD and Bron on the salary cap next year. Someone tried to debate me on another stream, and I was just like, bruh, whatever. So I'm not sure what Darvin Ham does to get this fixed, but the ship be sinking right now. This shit could be done, bruh. Seriously. And it's not through some superhuman effort. It's just from tactical mistakes. LeBron is shooting too much. Can anyone tell him? He has not made 1 3 through 2 games. But has that stopped him from shooting him? He is 0 for 10 from 3. And I didn't pull it. There was a great LeBron bad shooting stat. Well, we could just look at it by damn selves. Let's go ahead and go over here to, let me see. Playoffs. He is shooting 23% from 3. 23% from 3. And he's taking 6 threes a game. That's the problem. If you're going to shoot 23%, then you shouldn't be taking no more than 2 or 3. But the fact that you're taking double or triple that and still shooting 23%, that's the biggest issue. It's about how many. If you're not hitting them, fine. Then stop taking them. But, he's the king. He gets to do what he wants to do. And the problem is, last night, in the closing moments of that game, he had a moment where it was on transition, and the transition defense has been horrible for the Lakers. But this was transition offense, and he was trying to make a hero play. And we know the ball slipped out of his hands in the first half, and it's very much, hey, this is what it looks like when your GOAT gets old. For those of us who watch, MJ with the Wizards, it's yep, this is what it looks like. When you're surprised, when you're stunned that your GOAT can't get it done anymore, you're like, damn, that can really be a thing? Yes, it could be a thing. Wizards MJ meet Laker Bron. It's a thing. Anywho, Bron had a chance late to make a play to cut the lead as they just kept trying to trim the lead. And they were down 3. He tried to go to the hole and he tried to draw contact, but he had AD streaking down the middle of the court. If we love this court vision and he's just a better Magic Johnson and then couldn't he see that he could just drop it off to AD? And AD probably would have got the and one, or at least would have been fouled. You stop the clock, get to reset the defense, but no. He went for the hero play. He tried to go through 3 dudes, force up a shot, didn't get the foul call. The Nuggets go the other way, and yeah, this has not been a good Bron series. so far. It's only 2 games, but the shooting from 3 has to stop. He shoots 29 in the regular season. He shot 29% on the road and only 31% at home. So we can do that math. He shoots 30% from 3. Why are you taking so many threes? Why? Why are you taking so many threes, bro? Anywho. All right, let's see where we at. We'll go Victor Wembanyama. So Chris Broussard is trying to get some clicks for his show. I don't know how many of y'all actually watch that show. I do not. I don't watch a lot of this, debate television. It's not really my bag just because I do this. So I don't want no one else's opinion to kind of get in the way of my own independent thoughts. So I lean away from embracing debate and watching that television and supporting those clips online and all that stuff. But there was no way I could ignore this hot take that was done by Chris Broussard because he wanted this to be a thing. No one's watching that show, so he needed to jump out the window and say the thing to get people to realize, oh, he actually has a show and it's actually on FS1. Maybe I'll check it out. Most people probably won't, but he at least got his name out here associated with someone that's hot in the streams right now, and that is Victor Wembanyama. And the quote from Chris Broussard is, if Wemby is AD, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, or Hakeem, that's a disappointment. I will run that back because, yes, you did read that and hear that and see that correctly. If Victor Wembanyama is Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, or Hakeem Olajuwon, that's a disappointment. And this is where it's come to with Wemby. No one wants to be wrong on Wemby. No one wants to have the clip circulating 20 years from now that says, I don't think Wemby's going to be that great. Wemby's going to be a bust, so on and so forth. So everyone is jumping over themselves to be over hyperbolizing on Wembanyama just so they're safe. But this is the extreme of that take. These are these are 3 Hall of Famers. Well, some would say 4 because some people are saying Wembanyama's going to be a Hall of Famer. These are 3 Hall of Famers. And not just regular Hall of Famers. Not like Bill Bradley. Not like, dudes that just sneak in, Clyde Drexler. Not dudes that you could debate, whether or not they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. These are clear-cut first ballot, no doubt about it. All these guys have won championships. All these guys have been two-way phenomenons. Hakeem Olajuwon is God tier when it comes to defensive centers. KD in his prime was a defensive demon, as well as an automatic bucket, one of the greatest buckets we've ever seen. And AD, I think, should have won Defensive Player of the Year and arguably MVP the second year that Giannis got his, a Nigerian freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So AD is top tier, even still to this day, with everyone calling him street clothes. He's still God tier defensively. And if Victor Wembanyama is that, it's a disappointment. This is where hot takes go wrong. We've already talked about the pressure that's being put on these players. We got Ja Morant, if we want to believe in the stress and anxiety and the pressure of being from a small town and being given 200 M's and the pressure of being the face of a franchise or a league and maybe not knowing how to handle that except for to being his true authentic self, and that includes waving the tool on a cell phone. We're just going to openly put the pressure on Big Vic, Victor Wembanyama, and just lay it on him all right, dogs, if you're AD, that's still sus. If you're KD, that's still sus. AD's won 1 championship. KD's won 2. Hakeem's won 2. Hakeem's won an MVP. KD's won an MVP. In my opinion, AD should have won an MVP. That's a disappointment? It's too much pressure. It's too much pressure on Victor Wembanyama. I hope for him that he doesn't like listen to this stuff. I hope for him he doesn't even know who Chris Broussard is. I hope for him he could just come here and hoop, because he's 7'5". It's going to be hard for him to miss. He's 7'5", and the thing with him is, we looked up his stats the other day after the draft lottery, and it was 21 and 10, but he was still able to do that even with a shoot first point guard. So even with a ball dominant shoot first point guard, Victor Wembanyama was still able to put up a double 21 and 10 as a guy that's 7'5". But this is where we have, your guy Chris Broussard, who just wants to jump out here with a hot take and get his name and his show put out there. Because this right here is ridiculous. If Victor Wembanyama is Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, or Hakeem Olajuwon, that's a disappointment. This is one of the worst takes you will ever see. This is one of the worst takes you will ever see. And it's problematic in the culture where we keep talking about embracing debate and everyone is trying to hot take each other, because that equals more clicks and more tweets and more retweets and more hearts. When it's really just, why would you ever say this? What about you makes you think if I say this, this is going to put the pressure on Big Vic, Victor Wembanyama? What is this doing to a guy? Ain't he like 19? You got people out here killing John Morant for the things that he has done, deservedly so. Let's be clear. But we're now going to put all this pressure on a 19-year-old? Isn't the NBA all about mental health now? And how they just talked about on the broadcast last night during Lakers Nuggets, how Rui Hachimura had to take some time away from basketball because he had to deal with some depression. We've had Kevin Love, DeMar DeRozan come out and admit of their struggles dealing with depression and just mental health issues overall. And here we have a guy who is, being thought of to be the next everything. And we have a dude that's trying to get his name out here, or get his name out here, because it's been a minute since anyone has ever said Chris Broussard. And he's doing so by jumping out the window with one of the worst takes we've ever seen. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. This is why I do the content that I do, because I never want to be in a position where to get people to pay attention to me, I have to say something like this. I never want to be in a position in doing content and giving my analysis where I have to say something like this to be able to get people like you to pay attention to me. When that day comes, you will not see me anymore. Trust and believe. Alex is in the chat. Hey, Alex, how's it going? It's been a minute. So I've been crazy and I got a new job. Oh, congrats on the gig. Can only be here live on Fridays. Okay. All right. Well, I'll be here for a few more Fridays. I'm going to take this, the live stream through the NBA Finals, and then probably have to take a break from doing the everyday live streams. So salute to you on the new job. Congratulations. I know how that is. But yeah, so I'm still here. People come and go in terms of tapping into the chat when they can. So I'm always appreciative whenever people like you can pull up, because you've been here relatively early, damn near from the start. So always appreciative of you pulling up, Alex. Go Nuggets. Oh, you just missed my Nuggets breakdown. I was giving y'all a lot of props. Nuggets are really looking strong. And the Lakers are, the coaching issues, the coaching difference in both conference finals, to be honest, is becoming very apparent. And I'm a big Darvin Ham guy. But Darvin Ham, the lack of putting in Rui Hachimura in the starting lineup has cost them now 2 games. He could have got away with it with realizing the mistake after game 1, but all he did was double down on it in game 2, and it burned him again last night. I don't understand what it takes to get Rui Hachimura to start in the starting lineup, because he's not stopping Nikola Jokic. No one is. But I do think he is making Nikola have to figure out different ways to score, because Nikola can bully ball Anthony Davis. not every possession, but he could lean on, AD, and AD's frame isn't the most girth. But I think when it comes to, Rui, he still has enough size and height, but he's also got a little bit of, stockiness to him. And I think that's making Nikola have to work differently. But why he keeps putting Jared Vanderbilt out there just to get slaughtered, I have no idea. Alex, John Morant doing everyone with mental health issues a disservice. Yeah, and unfortunately, Alex, I think the league was also complicit in crafting that narrative. I don't think Ja and his people in his camp came to the NBA and said, let's blame it on mental health. I think this was a concerted effort on both sides to build a narrative because, again, the NBA is trying to embrace mental health. And they're embracing team sports psychology and all of that stuff. So I think this is something where they know if they put it under this lens, no one's going to push back. Well, besides me, I push back like, oh, that's bullshit. Because again, I used to work in healthcare for, a decade. So I know, not to say I'm an expert, but like I have a pretty good gauge on what mental health looks like and how people deal with mental health and how people go to therapy for mental health and how long that usually takes. And it's usually not, let me disappear to Florida for a week and a half and learn some breathing exercises and now I'm all cured from my stress and anxiety. That would have been a new one to me. So that's why I was like, this don't smell right. This smells a little fugazi, but it is what it is. Everyone needs breaks. Yeah, I mean, I've been going strong. We started Timeline T the end of February. And I've been consistent. I've missed maybe 3 or 4 days because of like traveling for like work. But outside of that, yeah. So definitely going to take a break after the NBA season is done. I'll still pop up for like important streams, like stuff going on, like maybe some NBA free agency for sure. NBA draft, I don't know about that, but NFL, if anything huge happens in NFL, I'll definitely pull up and I'll still be putting out content. I'm not going to just because I won't be doing the live stream doesn't mean like the YouTube channel will be dormant. I just won't be doing the live stream. I'll still be popping up, recording videos, doing content, doing my podcast, stuff like that. So Alex, you won't do it because of AD. Okay, so, all right, you don't think he's going to start Rui because of AD? Because, well, okay, explain that one to me because I think so far they have had AD on Jokic, right? They don't want AD on Jokic primarily. So why can't you start Rui and let them alternate instead of throwing Vanderbilt out there, who is just going to get killed? That's the issue. Like, to me, the issue is not necessarily like, like AD's getting killed by Jokic. He's not. Physically, he can body AD, but he's not killing AD. The problem is, in game 2, you put Vanderbilt out there, and let's see the first half. What did Jokic do? First quarter. I wish they had the splits because I would love to see what was Jokic's numbers. Jokic played the whole first quarter. He had an easy 9 points. Easy 9 points. And Rui only played 3 minutes. Vanderbilt was out there for 6 minutes. So the majority of the quarter, it was Vanderbilt. And if Vanderbilt is out there, he's guarding either Aaron Gordon or Nikola Jokic. And to be quite honest, he switched cheese against both of them. He doesn't have the size to match up with both of them, especially in the post. So, I just think Darvin Ham needs to shake it up. He tried to shake it up, but in game 1, going to 3 guards, and that was silly because he's not facing the Warriors no more. So I don't know why the hell he thought he could run 3-point guards out there and surprise the Nuggets. If anything, he surprised them to like, oh, this is going to be easier than we thought. And, you know, they went out there and took care of business in the first half. And then it took them switching it up in the second half of game one. Darvin Ham at least made the adjustment in game at that point and said, oh, no, I can't do 3 guards. And then he put Rui out there. But then you realize the mistake. Once you break down the film, you should realize the mistake and go, okay, well, I need to start Rui. But then you go and you start Vanderbilt, and then you see Vanderbilt get killed. And then you start the second half and you're like, okay, well, all right, now you have, not only is Vanderbilt getting killed, but Rui's getting buckets and he's holding his own with Jokic. And yet you still start the second half with Vanderbilt? Like that doesn't, I don't understand the rationale. I just don't. And I haven't seen a lot of reporting. And let me see, I'll look it up real quick to see if there's anything about Darvin Ham and Rui and just why, or Darvin Ham and Vanderbilt as to why is he still starting Vanderbilt. Let me see if there's anything. Are there any videos? All right, there is a clip, but it's like a 5-minute video. I'm not playing that. There's nothing shorter. All right. Oh, no, that's not even new. Hold up. I mean, if you're going to use Vanderbilt, I don't mind if you're going to use Vanderbilt to chase around Jamal Murray. But like in the second half, like here's the thing with Darvin Ham. You have Jamal Murray going crazy, right? Especially in the fourth quarter. You got Jamal Murray going crazy. 4 threes, 6 or 7 from the floor, 23 points in the fourth quarter. Just in the fourth quarter. That's when you bring in Vanderbilt. But the problem is, Vanderbilt only got 2 minutes. And that was early in the fourth quarter. Where was Vanderbilt when Jamal Murray's going crazy with 23 points? That's when you put in Vanderbilt. Like he had Rui out there. That's fine. You could go ultra big and match up. You could go Rui, Vanderbilt, Bron, AD, and Reeves. Because every time D'Angelo Russell is out there, they're hunting him. You can't give D'Lo no big minutes late. They're hunting him. Bruce Brown said it after game one. I thought that was bold and audacious. But they ran the same thing back in game two, and the Lake Show has still had nothing for it. So that's going to continue to be a thing as long as D'Angelo Russell's on the floor. But trying to understand and navigate, why won't he go big? Go Vanderbilt, Rui, Reeves, Bron, AD, and let me see that for an extended period of time. You don't have to go traditional, like I got to have my 2 guards, I got to have my 2 wings. And no. Vanderbilt could have been tracking down Jamal Murray when he's killing you with 23 in the fourth quarter. Jokic didn't score in the fourth quarter of a close game, and it didn't matter. That's a choke job in my book. You're gonna let Jamal Murray go crazy. In the fourth alone, he was struggling the whole night, but he kept putting his shot up. He kept taking the shots. And then once he got a couple to drop, it was a raging inferno. Bad loss. And again, it's just 2 games, and you know that they can come back from 2-0, and it wouldn't shock me if they do. But there's a disturbing trend with Darvin Ham not really, in my opinion, having a grasp on who to play and when to play him and how to play him. And there's too much basketball acumen between LeBron, AD, Phil Handy on the sidelines. There's too much basketball acumen for that to be happening. Because I just do not understand how you got Jamal Murray going crazy and Vanderbilt's on the bench. But then when you do play Vanderbilt, you put him on Nikola Jokic, who kills him. It just doesn't make a lick of sense. It doesn't. Let me see if they got Darvin Ham sound. We got Darvin Ham sound. I guess we could play a little bit of it before we wrap up. We'll go a little bit longer. Let me play this because just because I want to see it for myself. I just want to hear this for myself. I didn't get a chance to hear this prior, but we'll listen to it in real time.
Efficiency-wise from LeBron and AD, just wondered if you saw anything and some of the shots they were missing and how that built as the second half went on.
Yeah, we missed some pretty good looks. First of all, respect to them. They did what they were supposed to do, take care of their home floor, held serve. And now it's on us to fill our cups back up and go do what we need to do on our home floor, starting with Game 3. That's all we need to be concerned about is Game 3.
All of this is nothing. Doesn't mean anything.
Efficiency, we were aggressive, came out a whole lot better than we did in Game 1. Again, the increments in which we're improving as this series goes on, albeit it's only been 2 games.
You can't tell me a team with LeBron and AD, you're depending on incremental improvements each game. I don't want to hear that, Darvin Ham.
A lot of good things out there tonight. We had some lows that they were able to take advantage of. Did a great job defensively in the first half, majority of the third, and then, kind of got out of rhythm offensively, and they caught fire, and that combination usually leads to your demise. But, proud of our guys. They bounced back. We addressed a lot of things that we said we were going to try to do better.
You clearly didn't because Rui didn't start the first half or the second half. So clearly you didn't peep that.
Still got to be better in transition D.
They've been atrocious with transition defense. LeBron especially. LeBron, again, I know he's on one foot, but dog, missed the fundamentals. He can't figure it out to get back on defense. He's chucking up 6 threes, and I feel like he got beat for easy transition buckets on at least 2 of those. 2 of those bricks led to easy buckets for the Nuggets on the other end because, whether it's the foot, whether it's the fact he's 38 years old, whether it's maybe he hasn't gotten something from Miami that he's used to having, I don't know.
But overall,
allegedly.
The energy was there, the effort was there, the urgency was there. We just caught a bad stretch.
In the shooting, Denver was 7 for 25 from 3, but getting good looks in the first 3 quarters. They hit those 5 straight. What's the philosophy in trying to deal with the ball screens there and still think about Jokic?
Can't relax off the ball. They're one of the better off-ball offensive teams in the league, and you cannot relax. They set those back screens, and they're slipping out. And Jokic is giving the handbacks to Green or whoever, Gordon. We just can't relax off the ball. They draw a lot of attention.
Dog, it was Jamal Murray. It was Jamal Murray. You're mentioning all these other dudes. It was Jamal. It wasn't Jeff Green. It was Jamal Murray. Like, stop it. Like, Jamal Murray was killing you. 23 in the 4th quarter.
Some other guys step up as well in terms of Michael Porter Jr. So it's
he hasn't mentioned Jamal Murray yet.
Bruce Brown. It's just got to be, again, tighten the screws.
He's mentioning every single dude on this Nugget roster except Jamal Murray.
Continue to extract what we can from these games to help us be in a position to take care of business once we get home in Game 3.
Darvin, 2-part question. One, you changed the starting group, put Vando in for Dennis.
Good.
I guess that was the normal starting group you guys have been going with. But how'd you decide on that? And then second thing was kind of changing the matchups down the stretch where you put LeBron on Jokic, Rui on Jamal, so you could kind of switch their 2-man action. Just that decision as well.
Yeah, just starting Vando, just, inserting some energy and some size and athleticism into the line.
He has no size in this series, Darvin. There's no size. Vando's too little.
And then, as you mentioned, that was our starting lineup for the, remainder of the regular season. And the only time it wasn't our starting lineup was Game 6 against Golden State. So, and Game 1 here. And so, getting him back out there, allowing him to, putting a bigger body on Murray, I thought it was effective.
He put up 23 in the 4th.
And as far as just running different guys at Jokic, we're going to have to guard him by committee. AD does the best job he could possibly do in a one-on-one. But again, even when A is guarding him straight up, our guys off the ball have to have their antennas up, be in a position to help, and then close out effectively. Not being undisciplined with their closeouts. But
I don't know what Darvin's saying right now.
Your Joker is just one of those guys. You got to change.
I truly don't know the word salad that he just said. I don't know if y'all in the chat can tell me what the hell he just said, but the explanation of saying Vanderbilt played well on Jamal Murray when Jamal Murray was going off for 23 points and Vanderbilt was on the bench? What are you saying, Darvin?
These matchups, you got to change coverages, and I won't get into any details about what we plan to do going forward, but that's just the way it is. And in general terms, like he's going to make you work. He's going to make you go in your bag of tricks and try to slow him down.
I don't know what Darvin's saying,
with
bro.
LeBron spending so many possessions guarding Jokic, do you think that had anything to do with his shot selection in the fourth quarter, taking threes early on in the quarter versus driving?
LeBron's been taking way too many threes. He was 0 for 6 last night. He hasn't made a 3 in 2 games. He was 0 for 4 in game 1, 0 for 6 last night. Again, I have a video on this channel from last week, almost 2 weeks ago, saying, LeBron, please stop shooting threes. I was called a hater. I was told I don't know basketball. LeBron has been awful shooting threes the entire season. 32% overall. And it's gone down in the playoffs. 23% in the playoffs. Yet he's still shooting them.
I just thought he was trying to make a play for his teammates. He was open. They're playing off of him.
Why do you think they're playing off of him, Darvin? He's 0 for 10 in a series.
He's a highly capable three-point shooter.
Highly capable. He's 32%. What is Darvin saying?
He let it fly. With our team overall, just wanting us to continuously play downhill.
Yo, Darvin, what are you?
That's something I really, really want to harp on. I think
wow. Bruh.
Went from 16 to 10 free throws in the second half. Like we have to continuously play with aggression. And again, like I always say,
Darvin,
love
this is not a good look for you, bro.
That'll allow some of those three-point attempts to be that much more open and that much more in rhythm.
Yo, I'm so glad I listened to that because I had no idea that Darvin was getting these lies off like this. And you kind of see on his face, bro. Look at his face right here. He don't believe any of that he just said. He don't believe any of that. Look at that face. He don't believe that. He don't believe that. Bruh. They're backing off Bron and daring him to take threes. And Darvin Ham is saying that's a good shot. That's like Russie. When they back off Russie, dudes be guarding Russie at the free throw line. Russie be 10 feet away at 3-point. They're like, yeah, go ahead, Russ. Go ahead and take that. We'll live all night with that. And now they're doing the same thing to Bron because, again, he hasn't made a 3 yet in 2 games. And he's shooting 23% overall in the playoffs from 3. So, yes, Darvin, they're going to back up. They're going to allow him to take the shot. Oh, this shit.
Darvin, not a typical night.
My bad. I'm not playing that again. I'm not playing that again. Come on, man. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh man, let me check the chat. Keep chatting because I'm gonna catch up. Let's see. Alex, it's harder to come back from 2-0 when they're making it look easy. I don't know if Denver's making it look easy. I won't go that far. They got hot in the fourth quarter with Jamal Murray especially. The first game, Darvin Ham didn't make adjustments, and he put the wrong people out there, and it was too big of a hole to come back from. So I don't know if they're making it easy. Alex, Denver has had more energy and more consistency, and honestly, you let Jamal Murray and Jokic scoring like it was nothing. Well, I think Jokic hasn't been scoring like it's nothing. Jamal Murray in the fourth quarter, he was scoring like it was nothing. I'll give you that one. Oh, the God is in here? Okay. What's good, Ant? Ant is in here. Thanks for pulling up. The bigs for LA are too small for Denver bigs. Nah, that's facts. Especially if you're going to play Vando. If you're going to play Vanderbilt, he's definitely too small. Now, if you start Rui, you know, I put this out here maybe like 10 minutes ago. I said, if you go big, if you're the Lakers, AD, Bron, you could keep Austin Reeves, have him run point, and I would put Rui with Vando. You have to match the Nugget size. Yes, you're playing into their strengths, but I think they can take too much advantage of you when you play small that you have to be able to match it with them size for size. Darvin Ham tried to run 3 guards out there in game 1. That shit was Swiss cheese. He tried to throw Vando out here and he's undersized trying to guard Jokic. He was food. Now it's time. All right, dogs. Rui was cooking last night and he played solid defense. Why can't this man start? And no one in that postgame asked him, why won't you start Rui? Alex, no one could guard Jokic. Nah, that's fair. That's fair. He's saying there's no match for Denver. I don't know if I picked that up. He's definitely saying they got nothing for Jokic, which is facts. As good as AD is, AD would need at least 30 pounds. There are 30 more pounds of muscle to be able to really compete with Jokic one-on-one on the block. Oh, Alex with the bold prediction. Denver's going to sweep this series if Ham doesn't make some coaching changes. I mean, I think there's only one. I think the only coaching change left is to put Rui in the starting lineup. If the Nuggets find a way to counter that or still keep doing what they've been doing, even with Rui in the starting lineup, then yeah, this series is done in 4 or 5 games. This series is over. This series is over. But I still feel like you need to get a little bit more from Lonnie, start Rui, and go, dogs. I'm sorry, but I think you need to dust off Tristan. Dust him off. He can't body. Like at this point, it's got to be fouling Jokic, just bullying Jokic. And I think, why else did you sign Tristan Thompson? Besides, I know he's bronze man's. Why else did you sign Tristan Thompson? Put him out there. He's got 6 fouls. He's 6'10". He's got some heft to him. He's got some stockiness to him. It's like PG-13 back in Indy leaving him wide open. Yo, dog, it's like PG-13 and Russie. They're just daring mans to shoot. And Derrick Rose, before he got to Jimmy, just daring them to shoot. Because they know LeBron can't shoot threes. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. I'll show y'all again. I showed it earlier in the stream, but let's go here first. Last 2 games. We can all do that math. That's 0 for 10. That's real easy. And if we want to go to his playoff numbers, well, let's go regular season. Regular season, 32% from 3. And he's taking 7 threes a night. That's horrible. That's below league average. He was barely above league average last year. He's been hovering around league average over the last few years. So it's not like he's been a great 3-point shooter. All these years are roughly league average. And now he's trending below league average with 32% this year. So remember 32%. Let's go to the playoffs. It's even worse in the playoffs. 23%. And he's still taking 6 of them a game. 6 more last night, 4 more than the night before that. So like PG-13 back in the day where you could not shoot threes, they left them wide open, like they doing Bron. Yeah, it's really sad. Like this is the washed king narrative that Bron's been ducking. Now we're getting that narrative again. Cause it's like man's just really out here being allowed to just chuck threes up and he's bricking them. And I'll pull up the shot chart. Y'all know I love the shot chart. I'll pull up the shot chart and it's problematic as hell. Where we at? There we go. Shot chart. Let's go ahead and pull it up, dogs. You can't duck this smoke. Y'all see it? LeBron James. Look at all the misses, dogs. Look at all the misses. Where they at? Where the misses at? All right here, bruh. All right here. Stop taking them. Why are you taking those? Because look where his buckets are at. His buckets are all in the paint, right around the rim. And it was working. There's way more green than X's down here. Why won't he keep doing that? You want to stay right in here? Cool. Now, I know it's tough. You got to fight through traffic. You're going to get bumped on the way there. You're hobbling around on 1 foot. I get it. But that doesn't mean, because of that, I'm going to just settle for all these threes out here when I'm shooting 32% in the regular season and 23% in the postseason. I don't care how many more points you got than Kareem, bruh. You don't do this. You're trying to steal one on the road. You can't do this when you haven't made one in 10 attempts. Yes, you see how, dog, you see it. You see it. 31 feet out, bruh. 31 feet away. And this is third quarter. 29 feet. 30 feet. 29. 30 feet. 27. Brick City. Fourth quarter. Brick City. Just what are we doing? If it was corner threes, I could quasi understand. All right, the shortest three, most valuable. Okay, fine. But you're taking them like, yo, we laughed at them last week when we first discovered it, because if we need to run it back, we can. But let me find it. Oh no, I got to go back. The threes that he took for the entire season. Let's see if we can find this on the fly. Shooting. The distance. So now this is including the playoffs. If we include the playoff numbers, he's shooting 30%. He's taken 473 threes. He's taken more threes than he has shots at the rim. Okay? We can see that, right? 3-pointers, 473. Shots at the rim, only 446. Explain yourself. In year 20, 38 years old, physical specimen that we're to believe that you still are, and you're pulling from threes like this? And at that percentage? Nah, bruh. Nah. Nope. That's y'all king. Not mine. Not mine. And you see how many more jump shots? This man's taking 900 jump shots damn near. Only 90 dunks. That's y'all king. Sorry, man. That's y'all king, man. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And like when you look at the shot points, right? 2-pointers, 60%. Really 59, but we'll round up to make it sound nice. 60%. But those threes, come on, man. Where should you be shooting, Bron? Bron is so smart. He's got the IQ, right? He's got, people say he's one of the smartest basketball players, if not the smartest basketball player ever. You're telling me in year 20, at 38 years old, on 1 foot, you're going to keep putting up the shot you only hit 30% of the time, as opposed to the shot that you hit at double the clip? Y'all make it make sense to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. 25% from three in the playoffs. 25% from three. And he's taken so many. 100 threes already? You ain't Steph. You ain't Clay. You ain't even Julius Randle. What are you doing? It's if the Lakers lose this series, now he'll have a lot of company in the blame game, but I want to hear some LeBron blame. He is not exempt from the smoke. You can make some clear-cut examples of him tricking these games off. Fourth quarter, what was Bron doing? Shooting 3 threes and bricking them. Fourth quarter, what was Bron doing? Taking 3 threes he shouldn't have and bricking them. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray's going crazy with a 20-piece, hitting 4 or 5 from 3. Vanderbilt making love to the bench while Bron is getting crossed up on switches, again, caught on an island with Jamal Murray when Vanderbilt's on the bench. Darvin Ham is number 1. Darvin Ham, you can probably throw some shade at D'Lo because he's food, and the Nuggets admitted he's food after the first game. But then you got to go Bron. You got to go Bron. So, to recap, for those who are joining us a little later, we started off with Joel Embiid and James Harden. There is rumors about, let's get it right. James Harden is expected to reunite with the Rockets in free agency. That's the worst kept secret in the league, as we've been hearing that for over a year. It's getting closer and closer to becoming official. So, what that now has started, the chain effect, right? The domino effect. If James Harden does indeed leave and go back to Houston, what does that mean for one Joel Embiid? Well, there's a guy that covers the Knicks for the New York Daily News that jumped out the window and put this tweet out and said he's been told since the midseason that Joel Embiid is the guy to watch for the Knicks, and Philly's playoff flameout only intensified that belief. Now, here's another reason why I hate the Knicks. It's not necessarily the team itself. It's the people, the fans, and the media around the team. This makes absolutely no sense. Why would the Philadelphia 76ers trade their best player, the reigning defending MVP, to a team in their own division? It just, people make up stuff. People start conversations. They throw shit out there. I'm telling you, as someone that works in the media game, I have heard some ridiculous trades. I have heard some ridiculous conspiracies of this guy's going to go to this team and then all of this is going to happen. I have heard some wild shit behind the scenes in terms of, well, watch when this happens, then you know this is going to happen. And I'm like, all right, bro, cool story. 95% of that shit never comes true. 95% is false. This, to me, is definitely part of that 95%. The Sixers are going to watch James Harden walk back to Houston, and they're going to go trade Joel Embiid to a team within their division that they're going to have to then see next year 8 times a year. Because that's what Daryl Morey is going to do. And that's what any sensible GM would do, right? I'm going to trade the reigning MVP to a team in my division that just got done playing in the second round of the playoffs. I'm going to help a team in my division get better while my team gets significantly worse just because they got a whole bunch of future first round picks. The fuck are we saying here? I don't think y'all know how mad this type of shit makes me, because again, this shit's got over 250,000 views. And people are taking this story and running with it and thinking that it's fact. I've seen this tweet in 3 different group chats today. 3 different group chats. I've seen this tweet and I'm like, yo, y'all can't be serious. Y'all believe this? But all it takes is one person to believe it and boom, it's out of here. Bruce Brown killing. Yo, Bruce Brown, and he's letting them know it. That's the problem. And he's letting them know it. He's killing And he's telling the Laker bench that he's killing them. And D'Lo got nothing for him. Bruce Brown said to the world after game one, yeah, we see D'Angelo Russell. We're going right after him. We're going to do as many screens possible to get the switch that ultimately ends up on whoever got the ball being guarded by D'Angelo Russell. And then it's an ISO. He said that. And then they did it again in game two. And Darvin Ham and them had no answer for that. Problematic as hell. I'm a Knicks fan, but that don't make sense to do. Trading for Embiid don't make sense. I mean, trading for Embiid makes all the sense. It's why the hell would Philly trade him to the Knicks? If I'm Leon Rose and I could get Embiid for the low, maybe RJ Barrett, Fournier, throw in some future first-round picks, pick swaps, unprotected, whatever you got. If that's all it takes, then hell yeah. I'll even throw in, who you want to throw in? You want to throw in Quickly? Sure, throw in Quickly. They can have Maxey and Quickly go crazy. Sure. As long as I end up with Jalen Brunson and Embiid and whoever else is left, we could just build it around. I would do that. But the thing is, why the fuck would Philly do that? When there's the Jazz that got a million picks as well? When it's OKC that got a million picks as well? Why would I do that? You could potentially sell Embiid on OKC, and if you're Philly, you could get back SGA. Why would I turn down an OKC deal that has SGA and a ton of also future first-round picks for the Knicks' future first-round picks and RJ Barrett? What? Crazy. And now y'all know why. And I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. This is why I do this stream, this content, everything that I do. Because there has to be a voice of reason. And I'm not saying I'm the only voice. I'm just making sure I put what I know out here so y'all can hear it. Because knowing what I know, there is a 95% chance, because I always give a caveat because shit can get crazy and sometimes deals literally come out of nowhere. There is a 95% chance this is complete bullshit. Not that he wasn't told that, because again, like I said earlier, I've been told some crazy shit. Working in this industry, you're around people that know people, and my man's is friends with so-and-so. Oh, I used to cover this team and I know the trainer. He told me this. Like, there's all types of 6 degrees of separation stuff going on when you're working in media. So that's why sometimes when people tell me stuff, I always have to look back and just consider the source. I've been told some crazy shit. And I had to be like, I don't know if I trust that person though. Like, do they really know so-and-so like that? Are they really in that deep with that player's camp like that? Because you just don't know. People could make shit up and just pass it off as legit. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. But this is ridiculous. Alex, wow, yeah. But this is the nonsense. I'm leaving y'all in the weekend to take this. Take this nonsense into the weekend. But here's the thing. I'm not saying the Sixers should not trade Embiid. I think if the beard indeed does walk, I think there is really good justification for the Sixers to move Embiid. They're just not going to do it to the Knicks. They're not going to do it to the Knicks. Maybe if there's a mystical, magical 4-team trade where Embiid bounces through multiple teams and then ends up being a Knick, then maybe that way. But I am fervently in the camp of there will not be a one-on-one deal where the Knicks and the Sixers are working out a deal for Joel Embiid. Yes, I know the Nets and the Sixers got the whole Harden for Ben Simmons thing off. That's 2 totally different things. They were both getting rid of headaches. James Harden no longer wanted to be here, and they needed to get rid of Ben Simmons. That would not be the case if it's a Knicks-Sixer trade with Joel Embiid going to the Knicks. RJ Barrett will want to stay a Knick if the Knicks are getting Joel Embiid. All the players that it would take to move to get Joel Embiid would want to be Knicks and play with the Knicks with Joel Embiid. This is not James Harden wants out. Ben Simmons doesn't want to be here and he's imploding. All right, let's swap your beef for my beef. Your bad contract for my bad contract. Your disgruntled superstar for my disgruntled superstar. That would not be the case here. Just because we have now the ethos of, well, the Sixers and the Nets did a deal, they're in the same division, that is not on the level of what this would be. So don't let people talk you into it, because people will try to spin that narrative. And again, I'm not the only one saying this. Someone, and we discovered this here on the stream today, someone asked this dude straight up, the Sixers would really trade him in the division? And then Mans had no real response. That I have no idea. It would be very complicated and require many things to happen that are not, keyword there, not in the Knicks' control. Then that tells me there's little to no validity to any of this. To any of this. The Sixers would really trade him in division. That I have no idea. As if you never really realized, oh yeah, that's right, the Knicks and Sixers are in the same division. Come on, dogs. Stop it. Stop it. These dudes will do anything for these clicks. It's still going up. 300K now. When I started the stream, it was 250. Now in this hour and a half I've been on the stream today. Now another 50K more views, because people are looking at it, because this is a sexy thing to start speculation. And that's the only reason why Mans did it. Alex, total nonsense. Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad I have people that tune into the stream, whether it's live or on the replay, and they understand that. It would be hella problematic if I had people in the chat or in the comments on the replay actually trying to justify this nonsense, because that's all this is. This is absolute 100% absolute nonsense. So we got into that a little bit. And the main thing is that the funniest part of it is that the Rockets reportedly asked head coaching candidates for their opinions on James Harden during the interview process before hiring Ime Udoka. So again, the Rockets and the Beard reuniting was the worst kept secret. We've been hearing it for over a year. Now it went to so far as to the recent coaching candidates that they interviewed. They were asking those dudes, well, Harden is playing for the Sixers. They're asking coaching candidates in the interviewing process, hey, so what are your thoughts on James Harden? Because it's already in the bag. Mans is out here giving you 40 pieces for the Sixers against Boston, and Houston is running around asking dudes, hey, James is coming here, so what are your thoughts on James? Alex thinks it's just smoke. It better be. It better be. If that deal were legit, I'm gonna reach out. I'll put it like this. I'm gonna reach out to some people over the weekend, and I'll have an update on Monday, on the stream on Monday. Although I'm telling you, there's nothing to this. There's nothing to this nonsense. But I will do my due diligence, hit the contacts, look up some folks. And I'll tell you, I got one group chat that's really heavy with NBA people on the inside. That's where this tweet was not. Okay, so that's very important. In some group chats, I expect this stuff because it's just, shit talking. But in the one group chat where if I saw this, and I'll be like, oh, wait, maybe there's something to it. It's not in that group chat. So just saying. Just saying. Anyway, let's see. Let's see if we have anything that we can wrap up with on the way out. there's any news that has broken while we've been on the stream. If you missed it, Jim Brown has passed away at the age of 87, passed away at the crib in L.A., 87 years young for Jim Brown. So we gave a little salute to him as we came on the stream today. Let's see. Outside of that. Okay, here's something I've been wanting to talk about. Speculation is already widespread that a package of the third pick and Anthony Simons might be used to snag an elite small forward. John Hollinger, he works for The Athletic. No, he's with ESPN again? I thought he's with The Athletic. Okay, maybe that's a different Hollinger. Oh, yeah, this is the guy that used to run the Grizzlies. Okay. He's the guy that gave Chandler Parsons all that money. This guy. But now he's an expert for the Four-Letter Network. Anyway, so there's been a lot of talk with the Blazers getting that third overall pick, that they're going to move that. Oh, wait, Alex. Yes, Jim Brown, the football player. Yes, I got it for you. Stand by. There it is. Jim Brown, a Pro Football Hall of Famer who retired at the peak of his brilliant career to become an actor as well as a prominent civil rights advocate, has died. He was 87. Yep. So we let off the stream. Yep, Cleveland Brown legend, lacrosse legend. I think he was born in the South, but he was born and raised in Long Island, Strong Island. Jim Brown passed away at the age 87. Where were we? Where'd that tweet go? Damn, I done lost that tweet. Here we go. Okay. So the Blazers have the number 3 overall pick in the upcoming NBA draft. And there's been a lot of speculation in regards to, trying to build that pick and leverage that pick to get help for Dame. Here's something I'm going to lay out for y'all. Why would you do that when the easier move and probably the smarter move is to trade Damian Lillard? I think it's time. If the Portland Trail Blazers were to trade Damian Lillard, I think now is the perfect time. Now that you have the 3rd overall pick, because to be quite honest with you, I'm of the belief that this is a 3-person draft. We know what Victor Wembanyama is allegedly supposed to be. Brandon Miller is, centering in terms of an elite. He's trending towards being an elite wing. Scoot Henderson, I think, is going to be a combo guard that's going to be a problem. He's a guy that can get buckets. He's a guy that he's super athletic. He's got bunnies. He can jump out the gym. His shot has improved, especially with G League Ignite. And he can facilitate. That's where he got me. Once I saw he can dish it, I said, oh, we need that. We need that in the league. I need to see a dude that can go jump out the gym like Ja, like peak D Rose, like Russell Westbrook. I need to see that has that type of athleticism, that can shoot and now facilitate. He's the evolution. Scoot Henderson, I think you can make a case to take him over Vic. I know it'll never happen. I know it. So don't come at me. But I think there's a real case to where you can justify and explain why Scoot is more ready to contribute to a winner right now than Victor Wembanyama is. Hard stop. It is what it is. Big Vic's got to come over here. He's got to learn the NBA game, even though his league over there in France, they're allegedly more physical than the NBA. But we see what Big Vic is. He's not that stout. He's not husky at all. He's the opposite of husky. So it's like, dogs, you really think Big Vic's going to come over here and dominate right away? He's going to be fun. He's going to be exciting to watch. He's going to be must-see on League Pass. There's going to be a ton of, Spurs games on prime time because people are going to want to see Big Vic. But he won't be more NBA ready than Scoot Henderson next year. I guarantee you that. So, for me, why not flip this? Keep Anthony Simons, who low-key has been cooking for about 2 years, like really good. Flip Dame, you're going to get a shit ton in return for him. And you got the 3rd pick. And by all the mock drafts, Scoot's going to go third. Charlotte is afraid, at least right now, Charlotte is afraid to go take another point guard, especially when they have LaMelo, even though LaMelo's coming off injury. It's most likely they're going to take Brandon Miller. That means Scoot falls to 3. You could have Scoot, Anthony Simons, and all the shit you get back for flipping Dame. And then away we go. As opposed to, I'm going to trade the 3rd pick and Anthony Simons to get back one person, when I could trade one person, get Scoot at 3, and then all the assets I'm going to get in return for trading Dame. I think if you are the Blazers, now's the time. Trade Damian Lillard. I know it sounds crazy, but I think if I can go get two starters for sure, 2 starters or 1 top tier, like they're saying here, an elite small forward, I could get that in trading Dame. I could get an elite small forward in flipping the 3rd pick or flipping Damian Lillard. So why not keep the 3rd pick, keep Anthony Simons, and flip Dame for an elite small forward? I think the time is now. I think the time is now. And why would you do that? I think it's time, man. I don't think Dame's going to get you to where the Blazers think they can get. I think it's a wrap. I don't think the roster could ever be good enough around him. And let's keep it a buck too. Let's go ahead and have that Dame conversation. Is Dame a number 1 option on a championship team? Is Damian Lillard a number 1 option on a championship team? We've seen Dame be a number 1 option on a team that's made it to the conference finals. We've seen Dame be a number 1 option on a team that's, won a lot of regular season games. But is Damian Lillard, as the number 1 option, the lead guy on the championship team? He would tell you, hell yeah, because he's got that confidence in him, and I'll never shade him for that. I'm just starting to wonder, how many more years is he truly going to be that if you think he is that? Like, who could they trade for that's an elite small forward? I don't know who is an elite small forward that you're going to get. What, you going to do a sign and trade and get Chris Middleton? Is Chris Middleton an elite small forward? Would you give up the number 3 overall pick and Anthony Simons for Chris Middleton? Like, who's this elite small forward? There's been a lot of smoke about Dame to Miami. If I give you the option, if you're Portland, and I can give you Tyler Hero, don't laugh, Tyler Hero, I don't think you could get Bam too. Tyler Hero, a shit ton of picks, because it's gonna have to be Jimmy, Dame, and Bam. But if I could get Bam, okay, let's play a favorable scenario. Bam and Tyler Hero and some picks for Dame. Now you can have a core of Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo. And picks. As opposed to Chris Middleton. Who else is an elite small forward that's actually gettable? I'm trying to figure out who could be actually gettable. All right, let's see if we can play this game out. Small forwards that could be available. Let's go down some of these. Jaylen Brown. Ooh, Jaylen Brown. Hang on. Okay, so if you trade the 3rd pick and Anthony Simons if you're Portland, okay, so now let's play it out. And again, this is all freestyle. You could go to Miami and say, yo, Dame for Bam, Tyler Hero, and a bunch of picks and whatever else to make it work, right? So again, you have the core of Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. Or you could go to Boston if you're Portland and say, yo, third pick, Anthony Simons for Jaylen Brown. Now you got a core of Jaylen Brown and Damian Lillard. I don't even think that's good enough in the West, though. That's the problem. It's as long as Dame stays in the West, he's going to need a lot of help to get out the West. If you're really trying to build around Dame, one dude ain't enough. I don't care how elite he is. And Jaylen Brown is up there. I don't know who else you need. But I think the move, I'd rather trade Dame. I'm sorry. It's been a good story. He's talked that loyalty shit, and I believe it. And he's cashed out with all the Supermax money you can get. But that money will go with him to Miami. And there's no state tax there. So I don't know. I think it's time if you're Portland to blow it up. Or at least just move Dame. Because Anthony Simons low-key can give you, I ain't saying he gonna give you Dame production, but not that far off. Come on. Okay. Why is it not working right now? What's wrong with the website? All right, I'll just go to the Portland page. The autofill is not working. All right. Anthony Simons. I mean, he's giving you 21 and 4. He shoots 38% from 3. He shot 40% from 3 the year before. Yeah, dogs. Anthony's out here looking like baby Dame. He's baby Dame. He's cheaper, younger. Turn the page, dog. Go get Scoot to go be the point guard. You got Anthony Simons at the 2. You could potentially have Tyler Hero at the 3. You still have Jeremy Grant. And you'll have Nurkic. And now you'll have Bam Adebayo. You'll have a rock. You'll be able to go 8-9 deep, pause, with that roster off rip. Assuming you don't have to put Jeremy Grant in the deal or any of that stuff, but I don't think you would. I think Dame's contract is enough that it's just him should be enough. All right, I'll hit the chat. Henderson would be a great addition. Henderson's going to be a problem wherever he at. I think low-key the Hornets should really investigate about running it with LaMelo and Scoot. What you doing when you got LaMelo and Scoot at the top of the key? Now, that could be a Dame CJ type deal, and we saw how that ultimately worked. Or it could be, I won't say Steph and Clay per se, but it could be something like that too. I mean, neither one could shoot like Steph or Clay, but just saying in terms of hard to guard, that could be very hard to guard if you have Scoot and LaMelo. Alex, Big Vic, I can see as the next Tim Duncan. I mean, here's the problem with that, right, Alex? And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying here's why Big Vic is such a dynamic problem. He can dribble and he can shoot. I mean, he's only shooting 30% from 3, but you're assuming that'll get better. But he's got handle. Like, he's got KD level handle right now. And some people even saying his handle is better than KD already. So, like, I mean, yes, next Tim Duncan, maybe in terms of winning chips. Sure. Maybe in terms of, like, being that franchise player for, however many years, that lifetime contract. Sure. But his game is nowhere near Tim Duncan's. And where would you trade him to? They're going to want the book for. I think Miami's always been rumored for Dame. Who else has a plethora of dudes? I mean, again, it'll never happen, but the Warriors got a lot of young bodies that if I'm Portland, I would want, but that'll never happen. Same division. But I mean, if anything could happen, if the Sixers going to trade Embiid to the Knicks. OKC, but the problem is none of their dudes that you want make money, so you can't really do that deal. I'm trying to think outside of Miami. I mean, I guess you could say the Knicks. The Knicks got the picks. I don't know if I'm Portland, I'm trading Dame, and the best player I'm getting back is either RJ Barrett or Julius Randle. I don't know if I could sell that to my fans. If I'm Portland, I don't know if I could sell that to my fan base. Even though you're still ultimately keeping Anthony Simons and eventually either Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson, I don't know if I can sell that to my fans. But look, we got RJ Barrett. I don't know that that's a hard sell. Alex, I would ship Lillard for some draft picks. Oh, picks will be involved. It's going to be at least 1 to 2 starters, preferably young, and a lot of picks. They tried a one-man method in Cleveland with LeBron. I mean, they've tried it in other places too. Like the one-man gang thing. I mean, I watched it when I was still a Bulls fan. I watched it with Derrick Rose. It was a one-man gang. And then Tom Thibodeau, the meniscus tearing taskmaster, Tom Thibodeau ruined it by leaving him up in game 1 of a meaningless playoff game that was already decided and just ruined that team's chances. Got you. Okay, Alex. I was meaning in terms of chips with Vic. Yeah, no, if Vic, now the thing with the Spurs is they have a lot of young players that a lot of people have never heard of because they don't watch Spurs basketball. And why would you? I mean, they tanked on purpose and they got the ultimate prize in tanking. But there's some young players that people are going to have to get familiar with. Sochan can go. Vessel is solid. Keldon Johnson can go. So there's some guys on this roster. They're not household names yet, but those are the 3 guys that I think ultimately would end up being pieces around Big Vic when he's ready. When the body matures and his game gets acclimated, I think Keldon Johnson, Sochan, and Vessel are the 3 guys I would pay attention to on the Spurs going forward. I think ultimately, Zach Collins will be around because he's still relatively young. He's off injured though, but he'll be around. But in terms of like core pieces, I think you're looking at Vessel, Sochan, and Keldon Johnson. So they can have a core quasi built already. Quasi. Still going to need a clear-cut number 2 guy. I don't know if Keldon's ready for that yet. He has potential to be that. And Vessel, I don't know if Vessel's ready to be that. I would say more Keldon Johnson. I think he's more ready to be that. But Sochan, I think the Vic Sochan thing will be around for a minute. I really like his game. Appreciate the likes. Thank y'all for dropping the likes. The algorithm appreciates that. So therefore, I appreciate that. We are out here. It is a Friday. I did not think the stream was going to last as long, to keep it a buck with you, but you know, we had Alex pull up, we had Leopold, aka the homie Ant, pull up, and now we rolling almost damn near 2 hours. So thank y'all for pulling up. Always trying to deliver the content that the people want, that I think is interesting. Let me see if I can find something else. I think that's I didn't think we were gonna get into Dame today, but when I saw the story earlier in the week of the Blazers trying to move the number 3 pick, I'm like, man, let's just go ahead and trade Dame. Like, I would build around Anthony Simons and give me Scoot, Anthony Simons, and whatever I could get for Dame, and I'm good. I'm good in the West. I'm not Ja. I'm fine in the West, but I think I'm good in the West in terms of when those teams get older, when the Dubs finally give it up, you know, when the Bron thing with the Lakers finally gives it up, then I think you can have those guys ready to then step in. Because that Grizzly thing could be a wrap already. Ja could have tricked this off for the whole franchise. Who knows? Not to say that he's not going to play again, but I mean, it's not trending in the right direction. Zion with the Pels, that was supposed to be a thing. The NBA rigged the lottery for them to get Zion, and it still hasn't really materialized. So there's going to be an opportunity, a window of opportunity for the Blazers, if they do this right, by flipping Dame, to where they can be in that mix within an easy 2 to 3 year window. Easy. Oh my God, this is great. Not breaking news, but just this graphic alone. LeBron James in the fourth quarter of this postseason, 4.5 points, 34.5%. We'll round up. We'll give him 35% from the floor, 5% from 3. 5. Great picture, by the way. Just sad. Yeah. 38 years old. Yeah. Year 20. Yeah. Alex, I was a big Spurs fan back in the day when we had Duncan, Ginobili, and Tony Parker. Also, that's why you came back to the stream. You came back to the stream because, we got Big Vic. I'm pulling up on Timeline T. I'm going to talk my shit. Okay, Alex, I see you. Okay, I respect it. I mean, look, the Spurs, whenever the Spurs decide to tank, okay, I'll ask Alex this. And Alex, if you can, unbiased, please. Do you feel, I'll even come off the screen for this. Do you feel that the NBA lottery was rigged for the Spurs to get Victor Wembanyama? I know my answer. There is a YouTube short that is out on the channel right now that is talking about that, but I'll just wait for Alex's answer. Yeah, LeBron 5%, man. It's looking sad, yo. Like that's kind of the thing about it. Like it's really looking sad for Bron. Yeah, 5%, bro, from 3. And the thing is, he keeps taking them. Why is he taking? Why does he still continue to take them? What's he think? He's gonna get hot like Steph if he hits 1? You ain't Steph. It's like Draymond talking to Paul Pierce. You ain't Kobe. You ain't Steph. Oh no, you definitely want some chips? No. Hey, salute. I'm not shitting on anybody's chips. Can you say yes? You can. It is a safe space. The NBA is not watching. Don't worry about it. It'll be our secret, even though it's the worst kept secret. It's been rigged a few times. It wasn't just rigged for y'all. I'm not blaming it like only the Spurs get it when it's rigged. Like no. Even though, I mean, y'all are 3-0 whenever y'all tank. Y'all are 3-0 whenever y'all tank. I mean, a coincidence. I mean, come on. Like, I'm not hating. Trust. It's no hate, but let's just call it what it is. Ant knows the vibes. It's rigged. It's okay. I'm not even mad at it at this point. And I appreciate y'all hitting the like button. Thank you. I'm not even mad at it to keep it a buck with you. It's been rigged multiple times. The first ever lottery was rigged for the Knicks and Patrick Ewing. So I mean, it was always this. If the first ever, like, let's really take a step back and think about the times it was potentially rigged. The first ever one in '84, Patrick Ewing to the Knicks, right? That was rigged. We got the Houston Rockets got the #1 pick when Hakeem Olajuwon came out. I mean, come on, dogs. We can also go back to Houston again getting the #1 overall pick when the prize was Yao Ming. Houston had a humongous Chinese population. Coincidence? I think not. You think LeBron going to Cleveland was just happenstance? The kid from Akron, the chosen one, all the stuff. And the Cavs magically get the #1 overall pick the year LeBron is coming out. The Bulls had the worst odds to get the number 1 overall pick, but they got the number 1 overall pick and drafted Derrick Rose. Huh? Zion to the Pels. The Pels, New Orleans is the smallest media market in the entire NBA. They needed a shot in that arm because AD was gone. You think it was just a coincidence that the Pels got the number 1 overall pick when Zion was coming out? And then the Grizzlies are the second smallest media market, and they just so happened to get the 2nd overall pick to go get Ja? Come on, man. And then the Spurs, who are undefeated, every time they tank, they get the number 1 overall pick. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, now Big Vic. Come on. Come on. Scrub Zero in the house. Scrub Zero was good. 4.5 points in the 4th quarter this postseason. This is their king. Yo, facts, man. I don't understand it, yo. My king could never. My chosen one could never. I don't understand it. But, year 20, 38 years old, greatest I've ever seen, the most talented player we've ever. Oh, no, now that's Big Vic, allegedly. If we let, where's the tweet at? If we let my man's Chris Broussard, if Victor Wembanyama is Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, or Hakeem Olajuwon, that's a disappointment. This man said it with his whole chest. If Victor Wembanyama is Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, or Hakeem Olajuwon, that's a disappointment. Look at the pressure they're putting on Alex's guy, Big Vic, already. Already. Alex, I think a lot of drafts are rigged in multiple sports. Well, it's hard to say that about the NFL, right? Because they're the only ones that don't do a lottery, right? But yeah, MLB, NHL, like the Blackhawks just got the number 1 overall pick. I don't think that's not by coincidence. Like, yeah, drafts are rigged. And that's why I low-key think we should stop doing drafts. I think you should abolish the draft. Because then there's no reason to rig it. The players are going to make deals with the teams that they want to go to. Because I always make this point, but and I've done it on my podcast a lot, but like I'll just say it. I'll say it again here. If we're really trying to say what a bust is, a bust isn't always just because the player sucked. A lot of the times, a player is a bust because of the team that drafts him or her doesn't know how to use them. It's not the right system. It's not the right coach. It's not the right opportunity, so on and so forth. It's not always just, oh, this player came here and they stuck up the joint. And we've seen multiple examples of players that go to their 2nd and 3rd team and then they discover it. Like Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups would have been considered a bust if he would have just stayed in Boston. It was never going to work in Boston. Then, he goes, what was it, Denver and then Detroit? Then Detroit, magically, the lights turned on? No, it's just a bad fit. I don't think he willed himself into Mr. Big Shot. Scripts here, we know the association is rigged. Nothing new. I just want some of it to be less blatant. Well, I mean, that kind of goes against rigging it. It has to be blatant. Like, what would be an example of it being rigged but not blatant? Like, I don't know if Orlando getting back-to-back number 1 overall picks was rigged. I don't know. It makes sense. Expansion team, team in Florida, Disney World or Disneyland. I don't know which one is which one's in Orlando, but whatever one is in Orlando, like all of that, like, yeah, let's give them Shaq and then let's go give them Penny. And yes, I know the Weber Penny thing was a trade, but still. Alex, if you Hakeem, you're another disappointment. Alex, that's all of us. You are speaking for all of us. Only Chris Broussard is saying this because he needs people to watch his show, or at least engage with him on social media. That's the only reason why he said this. Because no one wants to be wrong on Big Vic. No one wants to be wrong on Big Vic, because 20 years from now, they're going to play sound bites of people talking about Victor Wembanyama as he's entering the NBA, and Chris Broussard wants to be a part of that package. He wants to be in that video highlight. He wants to be on the Big Vic Last Dance 30, 40 years from now. He's trying to get in here with the crazy take. He wants to live on for all eternity, long after he's gone, by saying if that he has video footage of him saying if Victor Wembanyama is AD, KD, or Hakeem, that's a disappointment. Sometimes well, not even sometimes, a lot of the times there's clear ulterior motives when these people get on TV and say these things. I don't think there's not a chance in hell that Chris Broussard actually believes this statement, but he knew what it was going to do in terms of getting people to engage. So he says it. And like I've been telling y'all here on this stream, every day, and I can tell you this as someone behind the scenes, every day there are people vying to be the person that says the thing. And what's the thing? The thing that will get you, casual fans, whatever, to click and engage, send it to the group chat, repost it on this platform, do whatever with it on this platform, and make it go crazy. Every day, there are people in these jobs that's their job. That's part of their job now. Before it was just, are you entertaining enough? Are you knowledgeable enough? Now the additional layer is, can you get the people going? Can you be provocative with your opinions? You don't even have to believe the opinion, but can you convey the opinion? That's the game now. Scrub Zero, Chris Broussard really going to hate on the dream. I can't take what he says seriously. Yeah, don't. It's because he doesn't believe this. He's just saying it to get clicks. I would say someone straight up bust like Jameis. I mean, Alex, I know how you feel about Jameis. Is 30 touchdowns and 30 picks a bust, though? Look, 30 picks would have been a bust if it had been like 10 touchdowns and 30 picks. But 30 TDs and 30 interceptions, is that truly a bust? I don't know if Jameis is a bust. I don't know if Jameis is a bust. But I will fall back because I know you locked in on Jameis way more than I am. Scrub Zero, but the media has the fans in the Matrix thinking a top profile draft not working out is only the failure on a player. No, that's facts. That's facts. Scrub Zero, they can't rig the draft without it being blatant true, but there's other things in the league we can see rigged, like a foul call and missed calls. Oh yeah. That's been going on for a while. The whole thing with the refs. I mean, look. The most blatant one in our lifetime, depending on how old you are, is, Kings Lakers. That's been documented and damn near certified that the fix was in. So yeah, we've had that before. There's been phantom calls all the time. Like even some calls last night, low key. Like there was some calls that I think the Nuggets got in the second quarter and third quarter. I was like, how y'all missed that? How, who got hit in the head on the Lakers and they didn't call it? And then they came right down on the other end and it was like a ticky-tack foul that was called on the Lakers. I was like, what's going on here? Like, that was a was it Rui? Yeah, Rui got hit in the head. No call. Came back down to the other end of the floor and it was either Murray or Bruce Brown, I think, don't quote me on this, on who the player was, but somebody on Denver forced up a shot, and it was like maybe a little bit on the follow through, just a little bit of a ticky tack, called a foul. And I was like, yo, dogs, Rui just got slapped in the head on the shot. Y'all didn't call it. Now a little tap on the follow through. Big whistle. No, call it off. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, come on, dogs. But it is what it is. He gave games away to others. That's the gift and the curse of Jameis, right? He won some games too, though. All right, are we really gonna? All right, fine. I pulled up some Jim Brown stats in case we want to talk about the greatness of Jim Brown, just so y'all can see again. The now late great Jim Brown passed away earlier today, 87 years old. I just want to show y'all these stats real quick before I'll look up Jameis. In 12 games, he had 1,500 yards rushing. 12 games, 1,500 yards rushing, and 17 touchdowns. 12 games. 1,500 yards, 17 touchdowns. He led the league in rushing and wasn't even 1,000 yards. But then when he really got the rock, 15, 13, 12, 14, 1,800 in 14 games. 1,800 yards. Yo, Ant, imagine the fantasy. 1,800 yards in 14 games. 1,400, 1,500, 17 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns. It's crazy. Man, it was an absolute animal. There's some stuff off the field you could talk about. That could be a stream for another day. But just the football player, the activist, to have the balls to walk away from the peak of his career. Like he was 29 years old. 1,500 yards, and he walked away to go be an actor. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, Jameis. He's got more touchdowns than interceptions, Alex. 139 touchdowns to 96 interceptions. Now, I get it. He's never had, guess this right here, 11 picks. Yeah, like he will turn it over. Hard stop. Only one winning season as a starter. So, again, you're valid. I'm just saying, those teams weren't that. Well, no, he had Mike Evans, right? He had Mike Evans. Did he have Evans and Godwin? No, let's see. Only for Alex am I doing this deep dive on Jameis. Oh, he had Godwin. Okay. He had Godwin and Evans. Okay. That's why he threw 30 touchdowns right there. Oh, that Kings Lakers series was total calls that were like, how you miss it? Yeah, it was blatant. It was blatant in that series. The refs controlled that one. The refs controlled that one for sure. Joe Brown was a beast for sure. For sure. On and off the field. Problematic off the field later in his career. Later in his life. But yeah, in his prime, yeah. Jim Brown was him for sure. For sure. Jim Brown was a beast. Facts. If his football would have been lit with him on the team, you would have won the league, bro. You would have won the league with Jim Brown. You wouldn't need nobody else on the team, bro. Like, who else was even putting up numbers like this? Like, he led the league in damn near everything when it came to rushing. Led the league in yards, touchdowns, yards per game. Like, and he's catching the rock, too. He's giving you some PPR, too. Yeah, damn near 50 catches. Imagine this year, he's giving you 1,400 yards, and in an era where running backs were not catching the ball at all, he's giving you 46 receptions for almost 500 yards and 2 more tutties. Like, yeah, his PPR numbers would have been out here. 1,800 yards, yards from scrimmage, 2,100 yards from scrimmage, 21 touchdowns. Like, yeah, there's no reason to play the season. You get Jim Brown, he's the first pick every year. For 9 straight years, he was the number 1 pick. Number 1 pick in 9 straight fantasy drafts. There was nobody else to take. He had Evans and Brady. Yeah, no, he had weapons. That is for sure. Jameis had weapons. All right, so we are here to, give props and respect to Strong Island's own Jim Brown. Passed away at the age of 87. As you see, 6'2", 230. He was a lacrosse legend as well. Acted in top-tier movies. Like, he quit at the top of his profession, and it's not like he went to go do straight to Netflix movies. He was doing movies with Raquel Welch. Like, he went from being the number 1 running back that was the MVP of the league. Like, he literally walked away as the MVP of the league. Like, who wanted the years? Like, he never finished lower than 3rd in the MVP voting. But, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so we do have games tonight. Heat Celtics game 2. And I think, the big adjustment for the Celtics is going to be this. To me is, will Jason Tatum channel Kobe for longer than 1 game? He keeps telling us how much he's, locked in on Mamba mentality. He had workouts with Kobe. Him and Kobe had a real relationship, so on and so forth. And to me, it's getting a little bit like, yo, dogs, I'm not really trying to hear you talk that Kobe shit if you ain't really going to go out here and put the rock up. You think Kobe would have went a 4th quarter of a game 1 where you're favored against the 8th seed and not take a shot in 8 minutes? Not take a shot? I guess he got to the free throw line, but then he also had the 3 turnovers. I think at some point we might need to have that Jason Tatum conversation. He just went off that 50-piece against the Sixers to put them out. But then he really came crashing back down to earth against the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are not your normal 8th seed, so I understand it. But if you're really going to talk that Kobe shit and that Mamba mentality, Jimmy Butler walked into your building and gave you a 30-piece and did it efficiently. That was the thing about it. Like, Jimmy Butler don't shoot threes well. Jimmy Butler's not efficient as a shooter. But when it's playoff time, he becomes a different dude. Playoff Jimmy is a real thing. He doesn't want to admit it. He's denied it in the post-game press conferences, but playoff Jimmy's a real thing. At some point, Tatum's going to have to be, if he's certainly the most talented player in this series. But is he the best player in this series? And that's what this is going to come down to. Because Jimmy's ready. Jimmy's not taking games off. Jimmy's not taking quarters off. But Tatum, we've seen it throughout his career and this postseason where he takes games and or quarters off. And your man's Joe Mazzulla don't know how to call a timeout when his team is getting blown out by 20 at the crib. 46-25 when you were up 7 going into the half. The Heat come out on fire and you don't take not one timeout, not one. But Mazzulla's saying, hey, well, we won 3 out of the 4 quarters. But that shit don't matter. When the 1 quarter you lost, you get blown out by 20, Joe. It don't matter. The 1 quarter you lost, you got blown out by 21. It don't matter that you won the 4th by 5. It don't matter that you won the 1st quarter by 2. You lost the third quarter by 21, and you refused to take a timeout to help your team collect itself and take a break. Joe Mazzulla, 34 years old, and he's looking every bit of it game after game after game, especially when you're looking at Spo on the other side. Because Spo is so clearly the best coach left in this postseason. And by a lot, by the way. When you're starting to look at it, Spo's been there 15 years. I looked up this stat. He's been there 15 years. He's made it to the Eastern Conference Finals 7 out of those 15. Spo is him. Yes, he definitely got the LeBron and the Big Three stimulus. So we know 4 of those is from the Bron years. But the Bron years were the Bron years. The Heat team were not supposed to be this good post-LeBron. And especially post-Wade, and then especially post Chris Bosh's heart not allowing him to come back and play. And he's made it to 3 conference finals since then. Spo is him. So, and who you got winning today's matchup? Heat, Celtics. I'm going to say the Celtics bounce back tonight. I would not put money on it just because I don't trust the Celtics to put money on it. But I think the Celtics take it tonight. I think the Heat main thing is we need to just come in and get a game. They've done it every series. They came out and they got the first one against the Bucks. They came out and got the first one against the Knicks. And now they came out and got the first one against Boston. So I think the whole thing is let's steal that home court. Let's put a shock to their system. And then let's see how the series goes after that. But I think the Celtics come back tonight. I think Tatum channels that Kobe shit again. You know, when are we going to start looking at him as, you know, they had to think for AD, Anthony Davis, alternate day. When are we going to get that for Jason Tatum? Because he's starting to do the same thing. Like if you just look at these numbers, it looks like he had a great game. 30 points, 7 rebounds, got to the line 11 times. Like, oh, wow, he had a great game. No. That's why we watch the games. Because if you watch the game and you realize what happened in the second half, you'll see, all right, 12 points in the second half. Yeah, he played well, Sam. 20 minutes, he played well. I'm like, oh, no. That's why we watch the game. Because then if we go just to the fourth quarter, we'll see 6 points. Oh, but that's solid, Sam. No. 3 turnovers, and all of them were late in the fourth quarter when they were trying to claw their way back into the game. And not one field goal attempt for a guy that's thought to be and expected to be the best player on the team. Alex going with the Celtics tonight. Okay, I agree. Scrub Zero. Tatum needs to stop talking about and be about it. I mean, he loves talking about Kobe. Loves talking about it. And I didn't know it was that bad. Yeah, it was bad in that fourth quarter, bro. It was bad. A lot of people say Brown is better than Tatum. I kind of believe it. That's, well, one, Jaylen Brown believes that, right? So we'll start there. I think Tatum's offensive bag is superior to Jaylen Brown's. However, it's the reverse when it's come to defensively. I think Jaylen Brown's defensive bag is elite compared to Jason Tatum's. So Jaylen Brown is a better two-way player. Jason Tatum is a better offensive player. But that's when he decides to be. When he's, I guess, motivated to be. Oh, Alex is rolling. Okay. I think Jaylen Brown is better. Okay. Well, I mean, he might be available via trade. That's why Tatum is a tater tot. That's hilarious. Okay, Sub Zero. He's in his comedic bag today. Yeah, it's rough, bro. It's rough. I don't know if I don't want to put no bread on it. I don't want to put no bread on it. I won't do it. I was close to putting some bread on the Lake Show last night. I'm so glad I didn't. I was almost mad when they were like playing well. They were up at 11 at one point. I was like, damn, I knew I should have put some bread on the Lakers. But then, you know, Darvin Ham and kept putting Vanderbilt out there to get Swiss cheesed up by Jokic in the paint. And then when Tatum is cooking the entire Laker team, he just puts Vanderbilt on the bench to stay. Crazy. Oh, wait a minute, Alex. Hold up. Jalen is better offensively. He's more efficient. He's more efficient. If we're going by that, I agree with you. He's more efficient as a shooter. But herein lies the problem. He's only more efficient as a shooter because Tatum doesn't give him the ball to shoot and score. So I don't know if it's truly Jaylen Brown is better because his efficiency numbers are better. I think it's because Jason Tatum channels part of the Mamba mentality by taking so many damn shots and not making a lot of the shots that it makes Jaylen Brown's numbers get better because he's only taking 10 to 15 shots a night when Jaylen Brown probably should be taking 15 to 25 shots a night. But that's Tatum's job. Like, we've broken it down. That's something I always look for. Whenever I look at a Boston Celtic box score, I go to the first thing is shots between Brown and Tatum. Now, game one, it didn't work because I think Jaylen Brown actually took more shots than Tatum. Yeah, Jaylen Brown took more shots than Tatum in game one, right? 21 for Jaylen Brown and 17 for Jason Tatum. So this is not the norm. Not the norm. Now, if we want to go to the norm, previous game for the Celtics, that's of course is the game 7 where Tatum went crazy, but let's just look at it anyway. 28-19, Tatum and Brown, 28-19. This will be a theme, okay? It's normally about 8 to 10 shots more per night. Tatum takes over Jaylen Brown. Shit, it might be just in the average. Let me look at the average so I don't got to go by game by game by game. Celtics. Look at these playoff numbers. Come on, playoffs. Oh, this is bullshit. This is not accurate. This must, okay, we need garbage time numbers. Okay, the disparity is not that close. Okay, previous game. This is game 6. 21 shots. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, 13 shots. So again, about 8 more shots. Okay? That's a trend. Let's keep going. I got time. Because that average thing is bullshit. That's why you got to watch the games. Because somebody's like, well, that's not true, Sam. Look, it's only 2-3 shots between them. No. I watched the games. Tatum. Jason Tatum, 27 shots. Jaylen Brown, 16. Okay. 11 more shots. Okay? 11 more shots. Let's go to the game before that. For some people, this could be annoying, but I'm here to prove a point. Because I watched the games. Now, here was a closer disparity. Only 4 more for Tatum. Tatum, 20. Brown, 16. But you see it. Tatum always takes more shots. Oh, no, that's Philly. Get back. Tatum, 20. Jaylen Brown, 18. A little closer. But y'all see the point. There hasn't been a game yet where Brown has taken more shots than Jason Tatum. This will be the last one. Oh, yeah. This is the anomaly. Jaylen Brown, 17. And Jason Tatum, 7. This is the game that he disappeared, didn't really do anything, but this was a blowout win anyway. So y'all see it. Y'all see it. But I think the Celtics bounce back tonight. I think they need to. Obviously, you don't want to go down 2-0, especially when the first 2 games at the crib. Yes, I got the Celtics tonight. I'm not putting no bread on it, but I would definitely ride with the Celtics tonight. I think it'll be a good game regardless. I think it'll be a game where I want to see if Joe Mazzulla takes a timeout when it matters most, because that's the bugaboo right now. He has a stigma of not taking timeouts, and he cops please. I went on a rant yesterday on yesterday's live stream. If y'all want to check that out, I went crazy airing out Joe Mazzulla. I could not believe that he was trying to defend not taking timeouts when his team is getting run off the floor. I have never seen no shit like that. He really feels like he's Phil Jackson and he's dealing with LeBron. No, not even Phil Jackson had LeBron. Who was it? Kobe and Shaq and Michael Jordan. He thinks he's dealing with them. Because remember, Phil Jackson used to do that with the Bulls. Bulls would go be down a 12-0 run. And Phil Jackson would just sit there with his legs crossed and just watch them. And same thing with Kobe and Shaq. And then even later when it was just Kobe, Lakers be in the middle of, a 19-2 deficit. And Phil Jackson would just sit there and just wait it out. Wait for the TV timeout. Or in his logic, he was waiting for them to figure out what's going wrong and letting them fix it. Joe Mazzulla is trying to do that. Here's the problem. As much as Tatum thinks he Kobe, that ain't Kobe. Like, you can't do that. You're 34 years old. You're a rookie head coach. You have to call timeouts. If this was January, December, you could get away with not calling timeouts because you're new on the job. This is the fucking conference finals, bruh. Call the fucking timeout. Alex, yeah, he is efficiency. Yeah, but I think it's because he's not taking the same shots. I'll take the team in green tonight, but I'm not holding my breath. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat with you, Scrub Zero. Kind of in the same boat. Like, I'm not surprised either way, but, I just think the Celtics are going to have to play. Tatum's probably going to give us one of those ones tonight where he's going to be bombs away like it's going to be like against Philly, Game 7. But, yeah, this is too little of that, in my opinion. If you're going to be Kobe all the way. You can't be part-time Mamba. There's no such thing as part-time Mamba mentality. I learned that myself, and it's helped me in my career. Like, sometimes, like, I'm from Southside, right? So sometimes I pick and choose when to let the South Side out. But sometimes I let people get away with shit they shouldn't, just because corporate setting, da-da-da. But ever since I let that go, and just if I need to bring the South Side out, I bring it out. It's been great in my career. So if you're going to be Mamba, okay? Don't be holding back, because you can't get those times back. So, yeah. Alex, he ain't no Phil Jackson. Yeah, he damn sure ain't. 34 years old, rookie head coach. He don't know when to take a timeout. Yeah, hella problematic. He needs some milk. Is that Tatum or Mazzulla? Mazzulla, I agree. Joe Mazzulla, man, he looked like a deer in headlights trying to answer those questions. Let me see if I can find that video. Mazzulla. I don't even fucking forgot how to spell Mazzulla. Mazzulla. I definitely forgot how to spell that. Let's see. Trying to find a video from yesterday, or 2 days ago, because he was talking crazy in the post game. They might have took that video down. I'm not seeing it. Let me see. Video. You got Tatum walking in the building. Let me see. Is he wearing some Kobe shit? Oh, he's wearing. Oh, of course. Of course he is. He's walking in. Is that Kobe wearing the all Jordan fit? Is that the type of time he's telling us he's going to be on tonight? Yo, it's almost a little spooky, like the Kobe riding, man. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I don't mind it, But it's kind of like, yo, dogs, why are you out here riding the Kobe shit so tough? Like he's rocking the Kobe Jordan fit where he was like bulled out from head to toe. And low key, never forget, Kobe requested a trade to the Bulls. That's a thing that happened. People forget that in the annals of the Kobe story. But yeah. Missoula needs some milk. Okay. He does, man. He does, man. He needs some milk. He needs some sun. He needs some, man. Missoula out here looking. He said, well, what's the movie? He said he watches 4 times a day. He watches a Boston-centric movie because he's from up there. He's from like Rhode Island or some shit. And he watches it's one of them Ben Affleck movies that's like Boston-centric. And he said he watches that shit 4 times a day. I'm like, what? Just because it has that Boston energy. But look at your man's Tatum. So he's on that Mamba energy tonight. He's even cosplaying like Kobe coming into the arena. All right, let's see if I can find Missoula. Malcolm Brogdon. They should start Malcolm Brogdon. Let's see if we can find more Missoula. Missoula's talking about, they got him talking about why he didn't start Grant Williams or why he didn't use Grant Williams. I don't really care about that. It's more about the Missoula shit. Okay, let's see. Let me see. I think I still have the audio up.
Malcolm mentioning that. Did anything kind of, you think, spill over from
we won 3 out of the 4 quarters. We lost 1 quarter because we dropped our sense of urgency. So no.
Bruh, like he keeps saying that line like it means something. And if you remember, they used this rhetoric last year when they played the Heat. And it was Ime Udoka. And of course, Missoula was under Ime. So is this just some Ime shit he's running back to us with? Cause like he was out here, Ime and him, well, Ime last year and him this year, they had been using the same rhetoric of, well, we won 3 out of the 4 quarters. That shit don't matter when you're taking the L ultimately, bruh. What kind of Jedi mind trick are they trying to run game on us? Like, what does that mean?
You mentioned the preparation being where it needed to be. Al saying what he did in practice yesterday, and Malcolm mentioning that. Did anything kind of, you think, spill over from
we won 3 out of the 4 quarters. We lost 1 quarter.
Look at your man's Missoula, bruh.
Our sense of urgency. So no.
And was that just from kind of the position you were in going into halftime, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of that has to do with it. I think also we played harder than they did in the first half, so naturally they're going to respond. And when you're playing at a certain level, especially against a team like this, you can't just think that what you did in the past is good enough. And so we have to adjust our mindset regardless of what we're doing in 1 quarter. We have to raise our level of urgency. We have to raise our mindset knowing that they're going to respond. And that's what this series is about, is how long can we stay the more competitive, the more physical, the more disciplined basketball team.
Joe.
But here's the problem with that, right? He's saying we knew the Heat were going to come out and, be more aggressive, be more whatever. Once you see that happening, you take the fucking time out and you reassess on the fly. That's what the timeout is for. You use the timeouts primarily to stop runs. That's the whole point. This team's in a rhythm. Timeout. That's the whole point of using them. But you let your team get run off its own gym by 21. In that 1 quarter decided the games. You could keep saying the bullshit about you won 3 out of 4 quarters. The 1 quarter you lost cost you the game.
You talk about let go of the rope. That has been a pretty consistent thing throughout the course of the season. You guys have multiple instances of that. Why haven't you now in the Eastern Conference Final, why haven't you guys been able to break that habit?
Yeah, I think it just goes back to like who can stay the more competitive, physical, detailed team the longest, and so we do it.
Word salad.
Stretches, and we just have lulls at times, and we got to be better at not having those.
Yeah, he wasn't. He's looking bad, man. Your man's Joe Mazzulla looking bad, man. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of what he said. But I will leave y'all on that note. I wish y'all a good weekend. We're going to watch this game tonight. We got more games. We got games every day, all the way through. Missoula, he doesn't know what to do when it counts. Yeah, that's facts, Alex. That's facts. It's facts. Like, yeah, I will be here Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern. So pull up. You know, we normally do 1 hour, 2 hours. We've done 3 hours, depending on the stream. You guys run this chat. So if y'all are here, I'll be here. Script Zero saying a whole bunch of nothing. Yeah, word salad. It's absolutely word salad, Scrub. Absolutely word salad. Script Zero, have a good weekend. Yeah, facts. Have a good weekend, y'all. Be safe out there. I'll be back here on Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're new here, tap in. Subscribe to the channel. We're growing every day. We're growing this thing. So I appreciate that feedback. Tap into all the good stuff down there and in the description, the podcast. If you want to get involved there, all of that stuff. And I will catch y'all. So for Sam D, for Timeline T, I'm Sam Duzme Jr. Peace.